when it gets beyond your control and you don't know how to lead your life anymore, then you come to meditation. In fact, in my family, people used to make fun of those that meditated. Om, they go like that. So do you do Om? Do you sit like that? Sitting on your head. They'd make fun of all of that. Nobody in my generation, with my parents, nobody told me anything about this amazing world out there. I had to go through life, and experience all that I experienced and get to a point which was like rock bottom before the whole world opened up for me. I didn't believe this meditation stuff was going to work even after I learned how to meditate. I was like, it's okay, it's fine, let's try it. It's not going to work with me, it's never going to happen. But there came a time, three years into the meditation, where one day I woke up and found that I had completely changed. I was not the same person that I was earlier. The friends that I had, the ones that liked to party, the ones that liked to go out, they had all dropped off. They got bored with me. And you think you know everything, right? Most people think they know everything. You go to any party, you go to any group, and you start a topic. You say, the easiest topic is to say Trump. Then you can get this real conversation going. Everyone's the self-styled expert on him. They know everything, from the left, from the right. You get all the opinions, right? There's nothing that needs to be told. And it's also with life. We might read and know everything. You shouldn't let, how relationships work. How many books have we read, self-help books, to make relationships work? You're talking about that book, Never Fear Cancer, and all the list of things that you should eat and you shouldn't eat. How many of those things are you eating? And how many of those things have you left? How much of this knowledge are you really applying in your life? So meditation has its place. Knowledge has its place. But until you're doing all three, breathing, meditation, and knowledge, the transformation is not going to come. Why? It's like if you want to get to the promised land and there's a sea in the middle, you need Moses to part it. Unless there's a parting, you're not going to find the pathway to get to the other side. The breathing and the meditation open up a little doorway, a little portal into yourself. And when that happens, and you think of the knowledge, and you read the knowledge, you learn to apply it. You're able to apply it in your life. And that's what it's about. It's not about, meditating 24 hours a day, or leaving this whole world and going and sitting on top of a mountain, or giving up on your life and becoming an ascetic, or joining a movement, or following a guru. You don't have to do any of these things. Right here, right now, you can find that transformation. You can find that enlightenment. You can make your life whatever you want it to be. Why will meditation help you? Because all these days, right up to now, up to this point, someone else controls your buttons. Somebody else has decided when and where you're going to be happy. What are the circumstances that are going to make you happy? This kind of a man, this sort of a job, this type of a country, this kind of food. You have given your power, which is rightfully yours, away to 100 people. And when the misery gets too much, people start look for a teacher, look for a guru, and then they find someone, whether it's Joel Osteen or it's Sri Ravi Shankar or it's Satguru or it's, Moji or anybody. What do they do then? The power that they had distributed, they give it to the guru. They decide that he is going to make them happy. It's in his hands. It's not. The power is yours. You have to reclaim it. The divine happiness, that peace, that joy that you are seeking, the answers that you want from life, they are inside of you. They are not in this world. Nobody in this world can answer it. Only you know. Only you can recognize when the right person is in your path. How do you know if the person that has been, chosen as your master or your, husband or whatever is the right person? Something tells you, right? There's an instinct that kicks in. And if you don't follow that instinct and you go with the intellect, you often make the wrong mistake. Or the right mistake, however you want to call it. Meditation just allows you to get in touch with your consciousness. If you're in touch with your consciousness, you cannot hate. You cannot hate. Hate, love, and fear all come from the Anahata chakra. The central chakra, center of your heart from which you connect to the universe. So if you see people that are filled with hate, they are simply not in touch with themselves. So you don't hate them in turn, you feel compassion for them. You pray for them to be able to reach a situation when the suffering is so hard, so difficult, that they will fall to their knees, and in that moment of surrender, they will open up to this divine movement, this divine consciousness, this connection with the self. There's so many experiments that have been done with people in the TM movement and art of living. I've written about it in this book. I talked to one person who was a hardcore drug addict, and just living in the worst part of society. But he had a turnaround when he met Sri. He did the course one time, and like me, he was like, it's not going to help me. But when he did it the second time, there was a shift of energy. That transformation that suddenly takes place when, by grace, you're just put in touch with yourself, and you realize that in that one moment, that this was what he needed to do. So, in his home, he started calling all the evil elements that he used to hang out with. One by one, 3-4 people, 4-5 people, they'd come, and he would teach them the breathing and teach them the meditation, and they would go. They would bring their friends, and very soon the prison nearby heard about him doing this, and they asked if he would like to do it in the prison. And now he does it full time. He just goes into prisons all over he does it mainly in Denmark, but all over the world he goes, teaching prisoners. He says, feel compassion. We've thrown these people into jail because they for one act of lunacy. And as they went into jail, prison is a school of crime. Prison is a school of crime. Even if you don't want to be, you learn how to be. And they are unable to come back and integrate into society because they're not in touch with them. Is this the kind of people, are these the kind of people you want in your society? So there are people that are white supremacists, who are bringing up, Nazi slogans that can chill your bone, especially if you belong to the Jewish tradition and you've had family that have suffered. This can really bring the fear in. But treating them with disdain and looking down on them and calling them names doesn't solve a problem. How do you reach out to people who think differently? It's one consciousness, it's one energy. Is their anger, their hatred greater than your fear of them and your love for them? What is the emotion that's going to rise? Fear of them? Because then that hate will completely eat you up if you're fearful. But love is a much more powerful, expanding emotion. If you feel that compassion for these people who have lost out in life, they can't get relationships to work, they can't get their families to work, they can't earn a proper livelihood, they weren't allowed to get into the army. I can think of a million reasons why they are disgruntled, and then they want someone or something to blame. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's always people that can't get in touch with their consciousness, that want to find a reason outside in this world. That's the cause of everything. So if we have to reach out, this is how we have to reach out. We have to reach out with that feeling of compassion and care. Everybody needs a chance. Everybody can change the way they think. You weren't the same person you were 10 years ago. We are constantly transforming. 3 years ago, prior to coming to meditation, do you remember the person you were? Has anything changed in your life? Yes or no?
Yes.
A lot of changes, and you're much more aware of it now. Why? Because you're paying attention to yourself. You're paying attention to yourself. If one evil thought could create a holocaust, what is the power of one good thought? Can my words and my emotions affect this group? Can the words and the emotions of this group affect a bigger group? Can we spread the perfume, the fragrance of meditation? People don't think they need it. People don't think they want it. We have to create within them that need. Because it makes life so sweet. Like it's you're on the surface of the ocean on a surfboard and it's smooth sailing. You're not going to get knocked off this surfboard. Your feet are stuck on it with glue. Just moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. You can't do it with just meditation. You can't do it with just knowledge. You can't do it with just the breathing. You need all three. All three. It's only when you combine that in your life and give some time in your life for these three things that your life can become just limitless. In touch with yourself. You know nothing can harm you. You know that the divine sits within you. You know you're protected. You know that no matter what you do, everything is good. Everything is good. I'm going to be happy. Happiness is my birthright. I'm going to be happy. Happiness is my birthright. You don't have to keep reminding yourself. I mean, there are times that one is constantly reminding oneself to be happy. But after a period of time, you slip back into the state of being happy quite seamlessly. It's one thought that requires it. Just happiness is my birthright. And you just say, okay, whatever, I'm going to do it. Things don't faze you for long. You just get protected when you meditate. Does that mean that bad things don't happen? No, of course not. People who meditate will also die. We just have to stop thinking that death is a bad thing. Neither is life nor death a bad thing. The whole thing is a joke. So be light-hearted and laugh. Someone is watching all this drama play out in everyone's life and enjoying themselves. Nothing you do or say matters. Lighten up. Lighten up. Treat life as if it's a dream, as if it's a joke. We take ourselves too seriously. Too seriously. What we do is so important. How we dress is so important. How we are respected is so important. If we're successful is so important. So what is success? What do you want to achieve? Who is going to remember you? See, nothing matters except what you're doing right now. If you're not happy now, perhaps we'll never be happy. Right now is the time. I was watching TV and they said there's this breakthrough for people that are on antidepressant drugs, and I was like, yes, what is this? Breathing or meditation? I was looking very eagerly. I said, oh, now they want to give them donkey tranquilizers. I mean, literally, you know, the tranquilizer painkillers that they use to for pain, sciatica, they want to give them that. Knock them out completely so that they can't even think. I thought Facebook had already done that. Yeah. You're getting knocked out. You're not thinking, you're not just being. We don't spend time in nature, we don't spend time appreciating, we don't spend time now. We're always lamenting or hoping, lamenting and hoping. Meditation brings it all now. You're here, right now. Nothing else matters. And then you realize that 20 minutes later, everything is as you left it. It's all cool. And you get that ability to get into that meditative state every now and again. When things get too much, you're able to pull back from outer world into just, okay, what is happening? Stop, what's happening? Did any of you watch that video? Mm-hmm. Only Karni watches my videos. Karni, thank you. I do it only for you. I do it only for you. One day maybe these ladies will wake up and start watching. Watch that video. That's a very powerful video. It just explains the technique. Stopping it all. Moving from form to formless. Moving from outer to inner. And that helps you. That helps you when you've got terrible stress. You know, I always recognize the stress. Something will happen in my neck. So there'll be a pull in my neck, and I know, oh my God, I'm getting stressed out now. Now I need to pull back. I need to pull back. And I use it. I use it several times in a day. And these are little techniques that I have taught during the course of the class. These looking for aha moments, or doing the technique of zooming out, using a deflector. All these things are little tools that I keep. If you look at my videos, you'll see them. There's one called the deflector. Look at that. That's a really good one. Yeah. Little tools that we can use, because after all, it's all about living effortlessly. You have to live this life effortlessly. Go through everything effortlessly. Whatever comes your way, effortlessly. Smile in your face. Faith, courage, and gratitude. Right this moment. Smile on your face. Faith, courage, gratitude. That's all you need. And so that we can always keep that smile, we meditate.